voiding trial is the moment that you've been waiting for, but it can also be the most frustrating mental game of your entire recovery. Today, we're talking about the logistics of urinating through your new anatomy for the first time, and how to handle it when things don't go perfectly. Voiding trials usually start anywhere from 1.5 weeks to 3.5 weeks post-op. This will depend on your surgeon and how you're healing. This process is very straightforward, but it's high stakes. First, you're going to close your flip flow valve or clamp off your catheter bag. And then you're going to try to urinate through your phallus. Usually you'll get 1 to 2 attempts per day to try to urinate. If you're successful, you'll keep this up for 3 to 4 days, urinating through your phallus during the day and using the catheter at night. If you hit that 48-hour mark of clear voiding both day and night, your SP catheter comes out. If you're feeling overwhelmed by all these timelines, grab my free Phallo Prep Pack to keep your recovery goals organized. It includes a master supply list for all 3 stages of Phalloplasty, pro tips and logistics, and a mindset and strategy section. You can get that at the link below. When you first start, don't expect a perfect stream. Leaks are common, but let your team know about them. They will generally have you use your fingers to plug any leaks so the urine is forced through the phallus. However, if more than 40% of the urine is exiting from an alternative site, alert your team immediately. Your stream might be weak at first because your bladder is pushing out urine from a longer urethra now. You also might have blood and burning up to 12 weeks post-op. To be honest, it took me 5 days to finally urinate out of my phallus. When I couldn't urinate, it was such a terrible feeling. I cried every day because of the frustration. It's an awful and vulnerable experience to be cleared by your surgeon and not be able to go. However, my determination pushed me through. My surgical team ended up putting me on a medication called Flomax, which helps relax the bladder and pelvic floor muscles. I started that on a Thursday morning, and by Saturday night I was able to urinate through my phallus. It was such a relief because my PA was already scheduling imaging to check for physical blockages. If things aren't moving, your team should give you time to urinate, but imaging is a great safety net just to make sure it's not a physical blockage. My struggles with voiding trials, and among other things, are just some of the reasons why I'm building Deepwater the Phalloplasty Recovery System, so you are prepared when things go wrong. Join the waitlist below to be the first to notify when we launch in the fall. If you're struggling to urinate because of a shy bladder, you have to distract your nervous system. Try the classic running water, or even blowing bubbles through a straw. It's weird, but it works. Some people find that sniffing rubbing alcohol or peppermint oil provides enough sensory distraction to let the bladder relax. You can also try different positions, standing, sitting, or even in the shower. You can also use deep breathing, a heating pad on your lower abdomen, or a very gentle push on the bladder to help things along. The goal is to get your mind off of the pressure and just let your body do what it does. Voiding is a victory of both physics and patience. Stay determined and use your tricks. Remember, a shy bladder is just a temporary hurdle. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing below. Stay steady, and I'll see you in the next one.